Hello everyone, it's me, Beth, from the Witch of the North, and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to come on here and talk about a book that I just finished reading and really enjoyed, and in fact I want to get a physical copy of this for my permanent library. So the book is Of Blood and Bones, Working with Shadow Magic of the Dark Moon by Kate Freuler. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and here's the book on my Kindle. And I read this book via Scribed, which is a subscription service. This is not an ad. I'm not getting any money from them. I just wanted to share because I think it's fantastic. I'm going to leave the link below. And you get access for a monthly subscription fee to all kinds of books and audiobooks, including some of the newest witchy books that come out. So some of you might enjoy that. This book, the cover really appealed to me. And the subject matter, of course, appealed to me since I'm drawn towards darker things in general. I work with a dark deity, Odin, and I kind of feel like this whole year has been a dark moon energy year. I'm sure a lot of you can agree with that. So what is the dark moon? I'm going to look at my, my notes a little bit, but the dark moon, a lot of people will look, if you look online and try to find when the next dark moon is, it might give you the date for the next new moon, but that's actually the dark moon. The dark moon is when you can't see any trace of light in the sky. The new moon is when you see that first crescent in the sky. So this book deals with dark moon energy, and also what to do when you're coming out of a dark moon phase in your life. So the dark moon, in terms of a phase in your life, can be any difficult period of grief, loss, change, endings, whether that's in relationships or at work, or leaving one place and moving to another. There's all sorts of circumstances in our lives that arise that cause us to go through this dark moon energy, as the author puts it, where we're dealing with difficult times and changes, and difficult emotions can come up, such as grief, anger, resentment, sadness, and regret, those kinds of things. And shadow work, in case you're not familiar with the term, I know a lot of you will be, but some of you, I've had you ask me when I've referred to shadow work over on my blog, The Witch of the North, on WordPress. Some of you have asked, so I'm just going to clarify that shadow work refers to the process of working through these difficult times and these difficult emotions, and instead of reacting to them with our egos, working to integrate them into who we are. Embracing the shadow is embracing the parts of ourselves that are less savory, that we think society might not like, that we ourselves don't like, and bringing them into the whole picture of who we are. And so that is what it is. And if you don't do it, the danger is that these things instead get bottled up, and then you have people acting on some of these dark impulses and dark emotions in ways that are going to be detrimental to people around you and also to yourself. So it's important to work through and process these things on it. It's not something you do and then you're done. It's an ongoing basis, taking a look at yourself and taking a look at those emotions and working through them. And the author goes through some ways in the book how you can do that. This book does contain curses and manipulative magic. We'll just get that out of the way right off the bat. But unlike some similar books with that kind of spell working in them that I've seen before, the author really tries to get you to work with the concept of doing your shadow work before you resort to that kind of spell casting. Because a lot of the time, the problem is not with another person who is your enemy, who you need to punish or defeat or anything like that. A lot of times the problem is with you, and doing your shadow work can help you see that. And there's very rare circumstances, in the author's opinion and also in mine, that would necessitate actual cursing. More often, if you're trying to stop someone from doing harm to you or to other people, the way to go, the preferred way to go, would be to protect yourself and to also do perhaps a binding on them, which is also manipulative magic. Let's be fair and honest about that, but it's not quite as drastic, and the repercussions, if you do it for the right reasons, are not going to be what the repercussions from cursing could be on yourself and on your own life. So besides that, I'm going to look at my notes now so I don't forget anything, because I want to let you know what's in this book. It's a fabulous book. It's a pretty long book. It's 400 some odd pages. So it also it talks about liminal spaces, such as the crossroads, being the most famous, where we do magic, but also other places like the ocean or caves, places where two types of land meet, times of day such as noon and midnight, dawn and dusk, where different times of day meet. All of these things can be excellent times and places and opportunities to do magic, especially magic that's to bring about change and to help you deal with an ending and possibly a new beginning of something else. She goes into how to build an altar to the dark moon, how to cast a dark moon circle, an introduction to dark deities and how to call on them, dark moon divination, recipes for dark moon crafts such as death oil, witch's salt, dark moon water and incense, making a set of bones for divination, which I'm currently doing. I'm going to be making a set of chicken bones from chicken that we've eaten in our family for divination. How to make death candles, how to use them in your magic. In this case, death means, with her death candles and death oil, death means an ending. She's not referring to killing someone or using a curse to kill someone. It covers protection, banishing, binding, cleansing of your house and yourself. It goes into some things that some people may not care for, such as the use of blood and other bodily fluids in magic, as well as animal parts and bones. But she also goes into how to use plant substitutes for some of the animal parts if you don't want to use those parts, such as a cherry for a dove's heart, for example. I really appreciated that part of the book, because there are some things I'm not really all that squeamish, but I really don't want to have to source animal parts. I like working with bones. That's different. For me personally, everybody has their own personal approach to this. How to source animal parts and bones ethically, or if you find them, how to clean them, which is a messy and involved task. And not expensive, just messy and time consuming. Other witchy curios, such as graveyard dirt from other places that you could use in your magic, such as banks, dark crystals, sulfur, hair and fingernails. She covers how to use all of these different things. Poppets for both good or ill purposes. Sacrifice, and this is a very interesting chapter, and she also has in there a sacrifice ritual that you can use involving a plant. Just a caveat that she repeats in the book, animal sacrifice should only be carried out by people who are skilled and trained in it, and preferably it should be an animal on a farm or such that is going to be fully utilized and eaten. I know a lot of people who hunt can use that as their animal sacrifice and do it ethically. So, I mean, that's a whole subject in itself, but for those who don't care for the notion of sacrificing anything, she does cover how to sacrifice a plant, or even how to use your own blood in some of these rituals and purposes. She goes into ancestral work and working with the dead, death and death rites, funeral rites, and then there's a section at the end consisting of spells and recipes and processes that you might want to use, such as meditations, when you're emerging from this dark moon energy, this dark moon period in your life, and starting to move into that first crescent of light coming back, and how to navigate that period in your life, because that can also be difficult. So she gives some tips on that. And then, of course, again, there's the manipulative spells and the curses, but there's a lot of discussion, more so, again, than I've seen in other books, about why you might not want to use a lot of these spells. But all in all, I think this is a fantastic book. I definitely want a physical copy for my own library, and I highly recommend it if you have any interest in any of these topics. And it's a good book, even if you don't think you have a use for it right off the bat. It's a good book to have on hand in your library. So that's going to be it for today's video, and I hope you enjoyed this quick book review. Again, the book was Of Blood and Bones, Working with Shadow Magic and the Dark Moon by Kate Freuler. and it's available on Amazon and every place books are sold, but you can also access it unscribed, and I'll leave that link below. I hope you're having a great day. I'll talk to you next time. Until then, God's bless.